try to rehash his reputation, forget it. Just got blown out of the water because we saw Cassie Ventura get beat up on tape. There's nothing alleged about that. He came out and apologized about it, right? I think that the Carters are trying to do everything they can to keep the story of the fact that this guy was at a White House with a horseshoe-shaped driveway that belonged to Diddy, right? But somehow that slipped his mind. I think this is all a smoke show. It's just a screen. That's my opinion.
Yeah, definitely a distraction. They're definitely plugging it, trying to parlay the Grammys to sell tour tickets, and the vested interests that have got billions of dollars riding on the value of Jay-Z's name are still rallying and coming up with PR stunts to protect the value of those deals because they are so phenomenal.
Lucrative, yeah. What do you think what do you think the NFL is paying ROC Nation just for the Super Bowl stuff? How much do you think that contract is worth? And here's something, it seems to me that everything is timed in such a way. They're trying to pull all this out right up until the Super Bowl so that we get all of this press to keep the truth out of the headlines. It's fascinating. And on the other side of the equation, in my opinion, you got the Diddy camp, and all they want more than anything in the entire world is to get a tape of him and Cassie Ventura and one of those workers to hit the street, because they believe that will have the same effect that the tape did on Cassie. So all of these wranglings, remember how it was so important he got out on bail? It's like, forget my case, man. Get me out on bail. They didn't even want to talk about that stuff. I'm hiring $5 million for my bail appeal. Then that stopped. The new one is, I need to see those tapes, man. You need to get me those tapes, because if he doesn't leak those, right, he needs to push a whole new narrative, and I don't think he can do it without a freak-off tape getting leaked out. That's what he's hoping for, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Tommy is almost at 30,000 subscribers.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna put the link into his YouTube channel in the live chat and the description box. So come on, folks, if you've not subbed to Tommy yet, let's help him get up to 30,000.
I appreciate you.
We helped Professor Hamamoto hit 50,000, I think it was, the other night.
That dude is incredible.
He's honestly great, isn't he?
He is incredible, man. It's hard because I'm a big Lionel fan, but Yamamoto might be my favorite guest. They're running neck and neck. They really are. Yamamoto's fascinating. I got to listen to that dude all day long.
What about Jay Dyer? He's good as well.
Yeah, no, Jay Dyer's incredible. Yeah, this is we're on a good run for content, to be sure, right? Really on a good run for content. But when Agnifilo filed that, the Stepford, is that what that is?
Yeah, keep going. I'll put that up in a minute. Keep going.
Creepy film. When Agnifilo wrote that letter telling the court how badly they needed to be able to look at the Cassie Ventura videos personally, not without a bunch of people watching, not in some place, because he can go look at it right now. They're not saying you can't look at the freak-off tapes. They're saying if you look at them, you're going to be in a room with a glass window, and there's going to be somebody on the other side to ensure that there's no way this stuff gets leaked. He has to leak this. So when that didn't work, Agnifilo wrote out what he was looking at. You realize that's a violation of the gag order that he asked to be put in place. Everything in that should have been sealed. That never should have been done. And he what did he say? He said, she's into it. Cassie Ventura was having a really good time. In fact, she's the dominant one in this. And you're not seeing any chemicals. He did everything he could to show us a freak-off tape that he couldn't show us. That's bad form. It really is. What these guys are doing, I hope that people aren't biting. I hope that because I would almost bet you my life that they're going to figure out a way to leak a freak-off video.
So I'm going to do a poll. I did it in the previous stream. And look at the eyes of this Stepford wife. Watching Bianca on the red carpet. If you think that Bianca's eyes have a similar energy to the Stepford wife's eyes, put a 1 in the chat. If you think Bianca's eyes look completely normal and not zonked out, MK ultra'd, hypnotized, or anything of any of the above, put a 2 in the chat.
Here, I got a question for you on that. So it has been alleged, right, it has been alleged. Jaguars talked about it. A lot of people have talked about the fact that Beyonce has a pretty rowdy chemical problem, and that this is something allegedly that has been done to try to keep her in control. It definitely gives you those eyes, though. Like if you ever seen somebody that's really nodded the hell out, you definitely get those kind of. But it's she does look. A lot of the people on that carpet. Did you happen to? I did not watch it, by the way. I boycott that stuff. But I go and then look at all of the images. But what did you think of Kanye's grand entrance?
So if you look at his body language when he stood whispering to Bianca, it's like he gives an instruction, steps back, puts his hands behind his back. Like the kind of body language that King Charles used, when he's going around and inspecting things with his arms behind his back, and kind of authoritarian. I am the leader. Body language.
I think he looked like a pimp. I think he looked. I swear to you, man. I think he looked like a guy that was getting ready to sell a woman. He looked like a pimp to me. And there was I did a morning show this morning, and we looked at this and we backed it up and looked at it and backed it up. There's a moment in there as she turns around that the look on her face, she's not happy about what she's doing. I can't believe for a second that was her idea to wear that dress. And we got to get to a place on this planet where people like that don't feel pressured to go out and do the things that they do. It's that was really, really ugly. I don't know, man. By the way, I've not seen it not blurred, but I can't imagine that. It's just a disturbing thing, man. It really is. She is Stepford.
Her eyes definitely looks Stepford on that photo. And like you said, to get to that effect, a combination of substances, perhaps adrenaline, being in front of all those people, and just brainwashing, hypnotism, just seemed like a combination of all of it.
Well, I brought up Beyonce because people keep saying the same thing. Like, you don't see her as much. Beyonce hides these days, but when she's spotted out or whatever, it's the same look. It's that, and you've seen it. I mean, we've done enough of this stuff in our not good life. There's something about certain chemicals that turns the light out in someone's eyes, and it's really a sad thing. But I don't believe that this woman was happy and excited about her appearance at the Oscars. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean at the Grammys. I don't think that was something she was super enthused about.
I think that morality has changed so much over the decades. This is, what he did was kind of a Benny Hill thing, something from the 80s or the 90s. He's achieved his goal of creating a huge publicity stunt and got the whole world talking about it, and got this woman totally famous. But down the road, this could come and bite him back in the arse. It could be weaponized against him, especially if he ends up in lawsuits and Diddy situations, that kind of stuff.
You're 100% right. This is one of those things that, and people are going to yell at me about this because there's a lot of Ye fans out there. But tell me there's not an R. Kelly vibe to this. I'm sorry, man. This to me looked like he was trying to look like he owned this woman. I mean, watch that whole thing. If you guys got time later, go ahead and watch that and tell me it didn't look like ownership. Like you said, the way he was walking around, like, hands on the side, hands behind his back, just like he owned her. It's a disturbing clip. And I'm sorry, but look at that.
Chris, what's your thoughts on that, Tommy?
I ordered one earlier. I was going to be replacing my my beret with it's just one more shot at 2025. We've been talking about how everything is changing. It really is. There's a change in this country. It's palpable. You can feel it, right? There's really a feeling going on that we're just sick and tired of how stupid these people believe that they're on Mount Olympus. They're not royalty. They're gods, and they're going to do whatever they want. And if that means taking a 13-year-old autistic girl and treating her like a blow-up doll, and then walking out of the room and forgetting it ever happened, and maybe even doing that again later that night to somebody else. Allegedly, this is such a prolific group of crimes. Even even if everything turns out, and again, these guys are all innocent until proven guilty, right?